So, what if I told you that a completely ridiculous, over-the-top comedy script, one about using durians as biological weapons, might just hold the secret key to understanding a nation's brilliant geopolitical survival strategy? Sounds nuts, right? But stick with me here.
Okay, let's dive in. Picture this. The Royal Malaysian Air Force has a code name, the Pirate Durian Squad. Their top secret mission? It's not just to intercept planes. Oh no, it's to launch something way more potent, way more fragrant. In this absolutely wild script, superpowers are repelled not by missiles, but by volleys of frozen D-24 durians, clouds of spicy rendang, and get this, even tsunamis of teh tarik. I mean, it is a full-on culinary assault.
It's hilarious, it's completely absurd, and the enemy pilots, they don't stand a chance. They're either surrendering because the smell is just too much, or because, well, the food is just too delicious. But here's the real question. What if this satirical spirit, this idea of winning without a big, dramatic fight, isn't just a joke? What if it's actually the perfect metaphor for how Malaysia navigates the incredibly dangerous world of superpower politics? Let's peel back the layers on this one.
Right, so that satirical idea of daring to differ, it perfectly captures a very real, very serious national strategy that has allowed Malaysia to thrive while being squeezed between giants.
The core concept is something experts call hedging. And look, this isn't about being indecisive or weak. It's a highly calculated, long-term strategy of engaging with everyone, the US, China, you name it, to maximize your own benefits while never, ever getting locked into an alliance that doesn't serve you.
And this strategy, it isn't random at all. It's practically a playbook. You're looking at the 5 unwritten rules that guide the country's every move. It allows them to dance between giants without getting crushed, always focusing on what really matters: national interest and sovereignty.
So, theory is great and all, but how does this actually work in the real world when the stakes are incredibly high? Let's look at 3 powerful examples where this playbook was really put to the test.
Okay, just look at this slide. It perfectly visualizes rule number 2, smile with everyone, sign contracts with both. And notice the timeline. It's fascinating. In tech, they might reject a Chinese company one year, then restart a huge Chinese-backed project the next. In diplomacy, they secure massive investments from Washington and Beijing in the same year. It's a masterclass in balance, really, playing both sides for national benefit.
Now, take the hotly disputed South China Sea. China makes these sweeping claims over the Kasawari gas field, an energy reserve worth hundreds of billions. But instead of loud public confrontations, Malaysia's strategy is just quiet persistence. The national oil company, Petronas, just keeps drilling. The CEO's philosophy is beautifully simple. As long as those rigs don't stop, Malaysia wins.
And this right here? This is a perfect example of rule number 4. National dignity is non-negotiable. When 16 Chinese military aircraft flew into Malaysian airspace in 2021, the response was immediate. As you can see, jets were scrambled in just 4 minutes. 5 minutes after they made visual contact, the entire formation turned back. A powerful message was sent without a single shot fired, firm, but not aggressive.
But, maybe the most powerful move involved no planes or ships at all. Back in 2020, Malaysia submitted a formal document to the United Nations, using the sharp, precise language of international law to reject China's claims. And what this did was create a permanent, unerasable legal marker of its own sovereign rights. It's a move China could protest, sure, but one they could not undo.
This whole national philosophy of daring to differ isn't just for geopolitics. It's actually deeply embedded in the country's economy, especially in the world of finance, where they've built a unique system that operates on a completely different set of principles.
Let's start with something we can all pretty much relate to: buying a car. With a conventional loan, the bank profits from charging interest. But with the Islamic model, murabaha, it's a trade. The bank literally buys the car and then sells it to you for a pre-agreed profit. The crucial difference? If you settle your loan early, you get a rebate, not a penalty.
Then there's another model, ijaz, which is basically a lease-to-own contract, but with a game-changing twist. Because the bank legally owns the car during the lease, if it's stolen or totaled, the bank bears that risk. Your contract simply ends. As the banking officer on the slide puts it so perfectly, it's the bank's problem, not yours.
Now, for something as big as home financing, the most popular model is a true partnership. Instead of a lender-borrower relationship, you and the bank actually co-own the house. Your monthly payments are split. Part of it is like rent for using the bank's share, and the other part buys a little more of that share. Over time, as you can see, your ownership grows and grows until the house is 100% yours.
So let's just take a step back for a second. We've gone from a satirical comedy about a Durian Air Force to the high-stakes world of geopolitics, all the way to Islamic finance. And believe it or not, this all connects.
The absurd fiction of Durian Force One and the complex reality of Malaysia's strategy, they're really just two sides of the same coin. They both spring from this unique national mindset, a willingness to play by different rules, to be creative, and to prioritize their own way of doing things.
And this approach? Well, it works. It doesn't always grab the big headlines, but as international experts like Professor Greg Poling have pointed out, it has made Malaysia incredibly effective, a quiet winner that consistently secures its interest without getting into these loud, costly conflicts.
And all of this leaves us with a final thought to chew on. In a world dominated by giants who are constantly posturing and clashing, maybe, just maybe, the greatest strength isn't trying to match their power, but having the courage and the creativity to play a completely different game and win on your own terms.